So the election is November 5th, Tuesday, November 5th, 2 weeks from today. I want to call on you one at a time, so please do not shout out an answer. On what date do you think we will know the winner of the election? What's your best guess on the date we will know the winner of the election? The election is November 5th. When will we know? Anybody have a best guess in mind?
I think the day after.
Okay. So November 6th. Mark?
I think November 7th.
7th.
I don't
Okay.
think it's gonna be that day, and I don't think it's gonna be the day after.
Got it.
There's a lot of
Got it. Sorry, I can cut you off. Got a lot more to get through before I let you go. Tara, date. You're muted.
November 6th.
6. Okay. Ashley.
I'd say maybe November 9th-ish. I don't know. I think it takes a few days.
All right. Bettina.
November 1st.
The election's on November 5th.
I don't know. I just think that stuff is going to spill out. I just think that we're going to know before.
You can't know before. It's
I don't
impossible.
know. The 6th.
Okay. Got it. Sabrina.
The 7th.
All right. So back in 2000, with that election, we didn't know who won until mid-December. If this year we don't have a winner until mid-December, who will think there's something fishy about the election results? We don't know until mid-December. Who'll think there's something fishy about the election results? Anybody? So it's fully possible it'll just take that long for whatever reason. Okay. By a show of fingers, who thinks the 2020 election was stolen? Anybody think it was stolen? None of you. By a show of fingers, who's concerned the 2024 election will be stolen? Anybody? None of you are concerned about that. Okay. By a show of fingers, who's concerned that there will be violence between the election and the inauguration? Who's concerned about violence between the inauguration and the election? 4 of you are. Okay. Ashley, why might that happen?
I feel like it doesn't matter which side wins, the other side's going to be pissed about it and they're going to be vocal and violent about it.
Okay.
We're so divided.
Okay. So Ashley, you think it's just as likely that Democrats will incite violence if Trump wins as if Republicans will incite violence if Harris wins? Those are equally feasible possibilities.
Yes, I think that's the state of our country right now. It's that bad.
Okay, got it. Anybody have a different reason why you think there would be violence during that period? Kevin?
I think the kind of people who, for the most part, would participate in violence are just sort of looking for an excuse. The opportunity would mean more to them than the reason.
Ah, okay. Thank you. By a show of fingers, who does not, I repeat, not trust the people who work the polls on election day? Anybody have any mistrust of the people who work at the voting place where you vote? None of you. So the election is 2 weeks from today, November 5th, Tuesday, November 5th. I'm going to call on you one at a time, so please don't shout out an answer. On what date do you think we will know the winner of the election? Realistically, on what date do you think we'll know the winner of the election? Malachi, on what date will we know the result of the election, the winner of the election?
gotta put a number to it.
You give me a date. November what? Or December what?
I'm gonna go with November 27th, 28th, just because it's sooner.
Okay, so it's gonna be 3
The
weeks.
it's gonna be sooner than later.
Okay, but that's 3 weeks after the election. You think you're not gonna know until?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sooner than later.
All right. James, when are we gonna know?
I honestly think it's going to be a complete debacle and it's going to go on. I would hope what's that?
Realistically, when do you think you'll know?
I couldn't give you a date. I have no idea.
Give me your best guess.
The 8th,
November 8th?
8th through the 10th.
Okay. Gunnar?
I was thinking about about the same way. November 10th, hopefully on the day, November 5th, but it'll probably be the 10th.
Okay. Charmin?
November 7th.
7th. Nicole?
I'm going to say November 15th.
Okay. Zaire?
I'm gonna say November 11th.
All right. So back in the 2000 election, we didn't know who won until mid-December in that cycle. That was Bush versus Gore. If this year we don't have a winner until mid-December, who will think there's something fishy about the election result? 5 of you. And by a show of fingers, who thinks the 2020 election was stolen? Anybody think the 2020 election was stolen? None of you do. By a show of fingers, who's concerned the 2024 election will be stolen?
You said concerned or
Yeah.
thinking?
Who's concerned that the 2020 election will be stolen? 3 of you. Gunnar, how might that play out?
Well, I'm just not sure at this point because I've seen so much support for Trump and so much anti-Kamala stuff going around, and just the polls showing that Trump's ahead and Kamala's behind, that I have a feeling like, since Kamala wasn't really voted in to be the Democratic nominee, that they're just going to try to, kind of shove things more her way to try to get another vote, seeing as, she was kind of installed as the Democratic nominee.
What do you mean shove things her way? What are you talking about?
Well, I feel like if there's like any errors going to be found, it's always going to be in favor for Harris or it's going to be against Trump. I'm not saying it's going to be election interference. I think it's more just, it's going to be bias of, the current, campaign, the current administration kind of leaning towards who's already in there.
Got it. James? How might it play out?
Well, I mean, I guess what I go back to is in the 2020 election, she had zero support. And then going forward, since being nominated, I've just seen from my perspective, her support decline even further, which I don't even know how you could go further in decline based on this previous administration's performance. So I cannot see it going Kamala's way.
How has her support declined? I mean, her polling is above where Biden's was when Biden dropped out.
I don't polling is so skewed and everything is so all over the map. Depends. I watch all the different channels. I watch CNN, I watch Fox. Everyone has their own independent opinions. It goes back and forth. I don't give a lot of credit to or credence to the polls. I see the support that's out there, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I don't see a way. Plus, the bottom line is the economy is terrible. How could anybody vote for an administration that's run us right into the ground?
Okay. Got it. By a show of fingers, who's concerned there will be violence between the election and the inauguration? Who's concerned about violence between the election and the inauguration? 2 of you are. Nicole, what will happen?
Well, we saw it January 6th after the last election. I just I've already seen a lot of voter intimidation, so I imagine that that's going to continue. And after the election, if it goes Harris's way over Trump's way, I see that getting worse.
Got it. By a show of fingers, who does not trust the people who work the polls on election day? Anybody does not trust the people who work the polls? One of you. James, what do you not trust?
The accuracy, just things that I have read, seen, uh, they're still uncovering some of the fraud that happened in Georgia. And that really, I don't like either side, to be quite honest. That's why I'm an independent. I just think both sides, it's unfortunate, but that's where we're at. And some of the things that are coming to light, I mean, I believe it probably happened before when Republicans won. I don't trust them at all. I don't trust anybody. It's terrible.
Got it. So before I let you go, I just want to ask, so most of you are leaning toward Trump or going to vote for Trump. Nicole, I'm going to set you aside for the course of my last question. So some people would listen to the conversation we just had and they would say, how could these folks vote for a guy who was twice impeached and convicted of 34 felonies? Anybody want to explain to me how you can vote? Again, I'm not questioning it. I'm merely asking questions. There are some people who would hear this conversation and ask you that question. So Zaire, go ahead. Tell me how you could do that and feel comfortable with it.
I'm around felonies. I'm around felons all the time. I'm around criminals all the time. I work in criminal reform sometimes, not, income wise, but I'm in the community with individuals all the time. So
And do you want one of those people as the president of the United States with a finger on the nuclear trigger?
absolutely.
Why?
Because those individuals that I come in contact with are educated, they have lived life, they have experiences far beyond mine. Their thought processes are far beyond mine. So yeah,
Okay. And the job of the president is to execute the laws of the laws of the United States. And you're comfortable having someone who's been convicted of felonies executing the laws of the country to duly execute. Charmin, same with you? Why are you comfortable with that?
His criminal convictions is the last thing that I think about when I think about him running the country. So therefore, I don't really give it that much merit. Like Zaire said, I have been around felons, and if it's not like a violent crime, sometimes, it is what it is. There's a lot of felons in this country. So, and if they allow him to run for presidency, who am I to say that he shouldn't be allowed to win? Like it's above me, and I don't look at his convictions as a hindrance to his doing his job.
Okay.